Fear is the enemy.
Legacy Music Box.
Whatever it is that you're going for, man, go hard. And hold on, never give up. You gotta have that mentality, man. I put in the work, I spent a lot of time on the waiting list. Never complained, I ain't never said shit. Shoot my shot, no fear if I miss. Imagine you chasing a dream that you love, only to find out it wasn't enough. You fall on your face, but you get right back up. And you fall back again, but you get right back up, yeah. That's the way that it's always been. Don't nobody care about the grind but you. Nobody putting in the time but you. Make up your mind, who you wanna be. I know who I am, I know what I want. Live by 2 words, mama mentality. And that's word to my mom, word to my pops, word to my little bro. They said make your mistakes, but don't make excuses on why you can't live and learn. On a couple occasions I damn near went broke, chasing this music thing. And I ran out of hope, I threw in the towel, said fuck the hole in the street. I kept on writing and touring. I picked up a job cause I knew it was important. The money I made, I would stash it away just to fund my recordings. And I didn't wanna stop cause I didn't know how. I would lay in my room by myself late at night and I finally figured it out. I just wanna be the best version of me, make all the music that I wanna make. I don't care what nobody gon' say. You miss all of the shots you don't take. And the answer is no, if you don't ask. If it gets hard, this too shall pass. God is my witness and he got the plan. He got the plan. I put in the work, I spent a lot of time on the waiting list. Never complained, I ain't never said shit. Shoot my shot, no fear if I miss. Imagine you chasing a dream that you love, only to find out it wasn't enough. You fall on your face, but you get right back up. And you fall back again, but you get right back up, yeah. That's the way that it's always been. Don't nobody care about the grind but you. Nobody putting in the time but you. Make up your mind, who you wanna be. I know who I am, I know what I want. Live by 2 words, mama mentality. Yeah. Remember, man, you only in competition with yourself. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. Pleasure and pain. R.I.P. the greatest. 0824.
Check 1 2, check 1 2. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay out there. Let me make sure I'm heard. We've been dealing with some technical difficulties over here and across the pond at the same time. It's been a wild one, but we made it. We are here. We're live. Let me make sure I'm able to be heard before we go any further. Let me make sure I'm heard. We are live. Let's go. Let's go. So welcome everybody to Circle Talk. We do apologize for the technical difficulties. Hey, it is what it is. That's what happens when you go live. You know, some of these things kind of happen that way. But I'm really excited for my guest today. A little bit about her. One of my friends had shared her live and I jumped on. I was like, okay, who is this? Let me take a listen. And it's a little young, petite little woman, you know, up there singing with her guitar, doing her thing, beautiful smile, charisma, and you could tell she was just loving life. And so I was like, well, let me get to know her. I think she'd be a great candidate to be on Circle Talk because not just the old people that are doing amazing things for the community and the people surrounding, but even the young. And so Caitlin Mae, I'm really excited to have a conversation with her and learn more about how things are going over in the UK and, you know, like, how her musical journey has been. And so I'm really excited to bring her on. But first, let me go ahead and just thank our sponsors for always being there for me and keeping me live in here. So first off, I want to say thank you to iShotya.com. Thank you so much for continued support. If you are looking for somebody to get your pictures done quick, fast, and in a hurry, whether they're headshots, family portraits, senior portraits, or just cute portraits, whatever the case may be, hit up iShotYou.com. Tell him I sent you. He'll get you done right. Next, we'll talk about Icon ENT. If anybody's looking to go to any future events and go in style, make sure you guys hit up Icon ENT. He's in the Party Boss extravaganza. He'll get you there and get you there right. He got his drinks there. He's got his music playing, and you ain't got to spend a dime just for the trip, and he'll get you done right. So hit up Icon ENT and he'll get you anywhere you want to go at a reasonable price. Next, we're going to go with the Chaya movement, Chaya fashion, I should say. Thank you so much, Zakia, for your continued support and everything that I do. If anybody wants to know anything about some of the events that she has going on, there's an event going on April 26th. In Seattle. I'll get you more information about that as soon as we're done. I don't want to keep her waiting because we're already behind schedule, so I don't want to take up too much of the time. But please make sure you guys hit up the ChayaFashion.com to learn more about everything Zakia is doing. And last but not least, Intentions Juice and Smoothie Bar. Thank you so much for your support, Marquita Evans. If you guys are locally in the area and looking for somebody to get you that fruit drink or that fruit yum and in a healthy way, hit up Intentions Juice and Smoothie Bar on 56 in South Tacoma Way. Tell them I sent you, and they'll get you the amazing options that they have over there in the healthy fruit smoothie category. So, all right, thank you all so much. And now I got to go ahead and bring on the guest of the day, or the evening, I should say. Over there, it's 7:00 over there. So yeah, it's going down. So let's go ahead and bring on our guest for today, Caitlin Mae. Let's see. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we are here. Thank you so much. I really do apologize for all the technical difficulties. We are busy people, and unfortunately, we didn't have a whole lot of time to schedule this,
Yes.
meeting, but we made it work. We got through all the nooks and cracks along the way, but we're here now. So thank you so much. How has you've been busy today? So let us know exactly what have you been doing all day today?
It's been a super busy day today. A lot of it has been behind the scenes work,
Mhm.
but also a radio interview on the Hoedown Showdown with Live and
Yeah,
Amplified
yeah,
aired, and we talked all about music.
yeah.
An upcoming festival that I'm going to be playing at with my full band, so I'm super
Nice.
excited for that. It's
That's
called
awesome.
Country on the Coast, and we are playing the closing day of the festival. I think that's the 23rd of this month. So it's not this Sunday, not tomorrow, it's the weekend after. And
Nice,
we also
nice.
talked all things moving to Nashville because I am making the big move uh,
Wow.
to Music City this July. So I am so
Wow.
excited, and it's a dream that is finally coming true.
So when you say you're moving to Nashville, what was the thing that said, you know what, like I love the music, I love the people, I love the crowd and the audience and all the support that I'm getting in UK. What made you decide, you know what, I love where I'm at, but I think I should check something else out and move to the States and see what happens over there? What made you decide on doing that?
So I have always loved the USA. I
Yeah.
From a very young age, when I was 2 years old, my
Hmm.
parents bought a holiday home in Florida, and I kind of grew up traveling between the UK and the US, and
Hmm.
I felt hugely accepted and welcomed and by everybody that I met.
Nice.
And so it began in Florida. I guess that's where the seed was first planted, and
Hmm.
it just developed and grew over the years. And I didn't ever think I'd be able to fall more in love with the States. And then I went to Nashville for the very first time in May of last year. And I realized I was wrong because I fell in love all over again and I didn't want to leave. And that
Yeah.
first trip was only kind of testing the waters. So I was only there for 2 weeks, but I had
Hmm.
curated a tour. So I was touring and I was in the studio recording my first ever single that was recorded in the US,
Hmm.
and that was in Nashville. So I was very, very excited.
That's awesome.
And the people that I met were instantly family to me, and I did not want to leave them behind. But I knew that I had to go back, start to get my affairs in order to be able to make the dream a reality rather than
Yeah.
just stay there and and try and figure it out from there. I knew that was going to be much more difficult. And it took me a while, but people kept telling me, you should apply for Belmont University.
Hmm.
It's a great school,
Yeah.
but also it's a way for you to be here and also be supported and have a network of people behind you and rooting for you, which is very true because everybody in Nashville is rooting for you.
Yeah.
It's a very supportive community, which I love. And so
Absolutely.
I applied for Belmont. I didn't know if it was going to work out just because it's a very difficult school to get into. And
Hmm.
I was homeschooled throughout my exams, which are the most important years during school,
Yeah.
um, because I was being very badly bullied and my parents decided to remove me. And I did not know if by homeschooling, I was going to come out with the same results, the same grades as I would have being taught by teachers. It was all very new to me, and even though
Hmm.
it was lonely, I spent a lot of time just at home by myself with my dog, teaching myself all these different subjects. And I sat the exams, and to my complete and utter shock and surprise,
Yeah.
I passed every exam with A's and A stars. Um, and it meant that I got into Belmont University back a
Nice.
couple years down the line, which I never
Nice.
saw being a part of my future. And
That's
I feel
awesome.
like everything is finally falling into place, and it's all thanks to magical Music City.
Magical Music City. Well, you said something about a dream of yours. And when I think about that and you, I think about the Dreamers. Where did this idea for the Dreamers kind of come into play? Because it seems like you got a huge crowd of followers that are riding the Dreamers. So shout out to all the Dreamers that are watching right now. Where did that
That
all start? Where did that all start for you?
So my very first single that I released
Yeah.
back before I knew anything about releasing music was
Yeah.
called The Dream. And
Okay.
I kind of thought that was just, it was just a single, and I guess you move on and you find yourself along the way and you have
Mhm.
new eras of music. So I thought at some point The Dream would become a
Mhm.
song of my past and something
Yeah.
that I didn't really think much about anymore. And that never really happened because even though that first single is not really my sound anymore,
Mhm.
and it didn't really do well in so many words because I did not know how to promote it. It didn't hit any charts. I didn't ask anybody to buy it or pre-order. I just let it be.
Yeah.
It still means a lot to me because it was the beginning of my journey with original music. So it still
Mhm.
holds a very special place in my heart. And
Absolutely.
it all started with a dream.
Yeah.
And these people who are on this journey with me now, I think are dreamers just like I am. And I think
Mhm.
that's something that we all share and have in common. And it's so special to me that
Yeah.
I don't feel alone and that they are family to me. There was a long time that I did feel alone because when I was in school, high school especially, and I was
Yeah.
being bullied, I felt not so much that I was the only one because I knew there were people out there with similar stories to me, but I felt
Mhm.
like we were all so far apart that there was no chance of us coming together and finding a community.
Mm.
Um, and I just felt so lonely. And music was kind of my only escape from that until I
Yeah.
found my community of dreamers. And now I have so many different escapes, and I don't even really need an escape anymore because life
Right.
is so good and it's all thanks to them.
Absolutely. So let me ask you something because you seem like a really cool kid. I mean, how old are you first off? You know, for anyone out there that's wondering, how old are you?
So I am 20 years old.
20 years
Although
old.
people usually And the funniest thing is that people usually place bets at my shows,
Hmm.
people who don't know me, um, soon to be dreamers, and they usually think I'm a lot younger. Like the most common age that is guessed is 12. So
Oh wow, wow. I was gonna say 16. I was thinking 16. So, 20 is definitely not what I was thinking, but hey, you're 1 year closer to, 21 and living it up and you know, some people think it's the age that, your life changes. And some
yes.
people look at it just as another age. But let me ask you something about your upbringing. You said you was homeschooled. Um, was there a particular reason why homeschooling was a part of your life? Something that your mom and dad chose? Was you still have mom and dad at the house, still taking care
Yes.
of you? Okay, so why did they choose schooling for you?
So up until I was 15 years old, I was in public school. I was just in regular school.
Oh, okay.
Um, when I went to high school, which I'm not sure what the age is in the US, but it's 11 here in the UK. So when I went to
Hmm.
high school, I began to be bullied really severely.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of it was verbal and very emotional and kind of took
Hmm.
a toll on my mental health, but
Yeah.
also it was physical. So I had my ribs fractured, I had a
Wow.
broken arm, um, and then a couple years into my high school experience, I was sexually assaulted in school, and
Mm.
none of these incidents were dealt with in the correct way or in the
Hmm.
way you would expect nurturing adults to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I was definitely not supported by the faculty, and
Mm.
often there would be verbal assaults from staff members, so from teachers who you would expect I could go to with any worries and concerns.
Hmm.
Um, and so eventually my parents decided that enough was enough. It got to a point where I actually had to have Fridays off. My attendance went downhill because I was in such a state that I would need an extra day at the weekend to kind of recover from the turbulence and hell that was school at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one day I called my mum and I was in tears, and I never cried because I think I was afraid more than anything to show weakness to the
Hmm.
people that I felt weakest around. But this one day, it just all got on top of me, and
Hmm.
it was the last lesson of the day. I called my mum in hysterics.
Hmm.
This guy had hit me in the face. It wasn't the first time, it
Mm.
was the last time,
Yeah.
thankfully. My mum said, "You will never go back." And
Wow.
my dad, for the first I mean, my dad both my parents had been very supportive, but I think my dad, it really clicked for him this day, and he was like, "I will be there in 20 minutes, and you are never going back."
Yeah.
And in the meantime, my head teacher saw me, and at this point, I looked awful, I was in a state, and she was the least supportive character probably at that school, and I think that's kind of how the faculty members were the way they were because it started at the top, and
Yeah.
they knew they were allowed to behave like that, and so it became a theme,
Hmm.
and she was awful to me, and then later spoke to my mum on the phone and said
Hmm.
my mum mentioned the fact that I was in tears, and she said, "Your daughter is a very good actress." She had no morals, I want to
Wow.
say. And at this point, it was probably the most relieved I'd ever felt because I knew that I didn't have to return to the school the following day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was constantly worried for my safety, um, and
Absolutely.
also for the longest time, I felt like I was going crazy because I wasn't liked in school, and I
Right.
thought maybe I was the problem, maybe I was like a defective product,
Yeah.
that needed to be taken off the shelves, and
Hmm.
music was my saving grace. My
Absolutely.
parents were also a huge support system, and homeschooling was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Wow. That's an amazing story for such a young person to share and just articulate in a way to where others can hear it, and for me as a father as well, I have a 20-year-old myself. And just to think about bullying, it's something that I've dealt with as a parent, and as a kid. um, but more now than ever, there's bullying often.
Yeah.
I mean, and just my question for you, um, and you can give your own thoughts on it, but why do you think it's such a major thing in today's society that we are seeing bullying more and more in schools? I mean, I'm sure you was just a regular kid, just trying to get your grades and do well in school and excel and be the best version of yourself that you can be. And then you got these people over here that see you maybe doing better than them. Who knows? Maybe getting better grades than them, or singing better than them, whatever the case may be. Why do you think it's such a major thing in today's society?
I think that the biggest cause of bullying, probably, since bullying was a thing, which it's probably been around forever.
Hmm.
Um, and I know that it's a huge problem in today's society. And I
Yeah,
think the root cause is being different. And we're all different, because if
yeah,
we are truly ourselves, then we're not anything like the person next to us. We're
right,
not anything like our neighbors. Um, and I think if you allow yourself to be the full version of you, then a lot of the time it's frowned upon, and it's usually frowned upon by the people who are pretending to be something that they're not. And I think
absolutely,
pretending to be something that you're not makes you very unhappy.
yeah,
And when you're unhappy, you want other people to be unhappy, and it
yeah,
becomes a cycle. And I knew that I would rather be bullied for who I was than be liked for somebody that I wasn't. And so
hmm,
I didn't want to give up on being me and being, I guess, unique, because again,
yeah,
no two of us are the same. We are like
right,
snowflakes. We are all unique. Even if
absolutely,
we try to fit in, eventually, hopefully, you come to terms with the fact that maybe you aren't being honest with yourself, because that is the most important part. I always say, if you can be in a room by yourself and like the person that you are, then you are doing really well.
hmm,
Because once upon a time, when I was in school and growing up and not having the best relationship with my older sister,
hmm,
I tried to be so many different versions of myself to make other people like me,
yeah,
and that definitely wasn't the happiest version of myself. The
right,
happiest version of myself was probably when I was disliked the most in high school, but I was being true to who I was.
hmm,
And when I decided that I was going to travel this path, whether I was doing it alone or alongside so many people, I found myself, and I would never look back.
absolutely. I just want to give your parents congrats for doing all of the right things when it comes to situations, because sometimes we think we're doing the right things and then they turn out to be wrong. But your parents have raised you up and created such an amazing singer person, for others to kind of look at. And you know what, if she can go through these type of situations and get through it, we can do it as well. So I commend them for taking the right steps to get you out of that situation before it got worse, because it could always be worse, and so
Definitely. And
I'm
my parents are truly my saving grace. I love them, and if anything, I get closer and closer to them every day.
mhm,
And they're probably thinking, please fly the nest."
yeah.
But I love them, and I am stuck to them like glue.
Yeah.
They are my best friends.
Absolutely. So let's get back on the music thing. Okay. We got a little serious for a minute. I apologize. That kind of stuff is really To me, I think it's really important that people hear that type of stuff, because I think a lot of people don't see what's behind closed doors. Like, all they see is the glitter and the gold and the fame and the smiles and, all of the music, but they don't see that we all have stories behind the story that we
Yeah.
share for you, for the people. And so it's amazing that you're doing well through it all.
Thank you.
But where did your musical influence start? Where did you realize? When was it that you realized? You know what? I think I could do something with this. When was it?
It's it's something that I think has always flowed through my veins, and even if I tried, I don't think I ever would have stood a chance escaping it. I think
Yeah.
it was always meant to be my path.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think I've ever maybe put it in these terms before, but
Hmm.
honestly, I think I've wanted to pursue music probably since the days of Hannah Montana and the
Oh yeah.
Disney Channel and watching all these children, young people
Hmm.
pursuing and living the dream that so many of us have, I think, growing up. And I know a lot of the time we grow out of it, and so many of my peers did. They woke up one day and they didn't want to be a superstar or a rock star or a pop
Yeah.
star anymore. They wanted to be doctors and scientists. And I take my hat off to them because I
Hmm.
am the least mathematical, scientific person in the world, and I couldn't do those jobs.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, so, so glad that there are people out there who can. But the creative side
Yeah.
of the world has always been my calling,
Hmm.
and I love being able to put how you feel into words and then put a melody to those words and share music. And I think
Hmm.
it's so subjective, but it brings people together all across the world.
Yeah.
And I think connection more than anything is my biggest dream, because when you feel connected and you found your people,
Hmm.
it's the best feeling in the world.
Absolutely. Facts. I love that. Love that. So for me, I love the idea of connecting with your people. But to me, I also believe that I always had this thing that I said anytime that I would, do like a karaoke fest online, because during the epidemic, that's one of the things that I loved doing, was going live and just singing for hours on end, just to sing,
Yeah.
like. But I always dealt with these people kind of like, kind of like a bully, some hecklers. There's always at least one heckler in every live viewing that I go to. And the one thing that they always want to pinpoint on is the color of my skin. And so for me, I always had this saying where music owns no color because it's every color,
Yeah.
And so,
Every
like, for you, have you ever dealt with the hecklers yet? Have you dealt with any of the hecklers kind of, jumping in and saying these random things to you, and making you feel somewhat not as talented as you truly are? Have you dealt with any of that at all?
I definitely have. The biggest kind of experience that I've had with online trolling and
Mm.
heckling is
Yeah.
probably from my peers that I went to school with and the
Mm.
people that I was bullied by. And I cannot even explain how many times I have blocked these people, and
And
they create new accounts just to do
yeah.
the same thing. And I always think that it must take up so much of their time to keep having to
Mhm.
create new accounts and then do the same thing and find you. And then when they're blocked again, because I block them straight away, they have to
Yeah.
keep creating them. I can't even remember one password. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
I think it's it's admirable because they have to remember a lot of passwords.
Right.
Um, but in person, I've also experienced a couple things like that. And I'm going to tell you a story that maybe I shouldn't tell you. And I've never told this story before because it's actually very fresh. It
Okay.
happened maybe a week or so ago. I
Okay.
can't keep track of time. Um, but my first proper band that I got together here in the UK.
Hmm.
Um, the guy who drummed for me in the band is no longer my drummer. But even though he's no longer my drummer, I still thought we were friends. I thought we ended things on great terms.
Yeah.
And back a week or so ago, whatever the date was, I played a show. It was a charity show. So of all the kind of shows that you play, you'd think this is the one where people come together the most because you're raising money for a great cause
Yeah.
and you're all there supporting that cause. Apparently, that was not the case, and
Hmm.
he is now drumming for a new band, and I also have a new drummer. So again, I thought everything was great between us. I thought we were friends, and I tried to talk to him and say, "Hey, how have you been?
Yeah.
It's been a really long time. It's awesome to see you again."
Hmm.
He really did not want to talk to me. He kind of answered, but it was more of a mumble looking down at the ground and then walking in the opposite direction, kind of mid-conversation.
Hmm.
Um, but that was okay. I thought
Hmm.
maybe it was just like an awkward encounter.
Yeah.
And then he played first with his band, and then I played an acoustic set second. And during this set, the room had kind of a lot of it was a very it had a lot of reverb in this room, so
Hmm.
it was quite echoey when people were talking,
Yeah.
but it was very, very quiet when I was singing, so I thought that was a really, really awesome thing. And after I finished singing, the applause was really loud, and I think probably sounded 10 times as loud as it was, just because the room really did echo.
Yeah.
And from like my second or third song, somebody started talking, but the way the lights were, I could only really see silhouettes of people. I couldn't actually see faces and
Yeah.
make out who people were. Um, but I didn't really think anything of it. I just thought maybe a couple people towards the back were having a conversation.
Hmm.
And at the end of the show, the organizer of the event came over to me and my mum and said, I have to apologize. I am so sorry. But the drummer from this band that she named was talking so loud and trying to encourage other people to join in to the conversation. And she went over and spoke to him, and he wouldn't listen and ignored her. And she said, in the end, I gave up because I tried so many times
Yeah.
and it wasn't working. So I just kind of left it. But she said, I just have to apologize on behalf of everybody because it wasn't what we would have hoped for,
Yeah.
and we
Absolutely.
attempted to kind of get it sorted out in the middle of the set, but it wasn't working and he wasn't listening. And I
Yeah.
just thought that was crazy because sometimes people do talk and maybe come across as a little bit rude, but
Hmm.
they usually don't mean it. But when it's a fellow musician who you used to play on the same stage as, um, and they would kind of know how hurtful that is and probably wouldn't want it for themselves. When somebody like that does something like that, you
Hmm.
just kind of realize that not everybody has the same heart as you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Facts. It's you just gotta, keep your chin up and realize, it's a part of the job, the territory. It's gonna happen whether we like it or not. It's unfortunately the way of the world. There's always gonna be those people that are just gonna hate on you regardless of if you're amazing or if you're not amazing. They're just gonna hate because it's in their DNA to
Yeah.
do that, and it's unfortunate because
Yeah.
we don't really see people as hating people, but something has happened during their lives, during their journey, that has kind of triggered this type of uh, reaction or thought process that this is who they wanted to be, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It happens so often, and it really shouldn't. People should just love everyone for who they are, and respect people for the choices that they make, the people that they're with, the songs that they sing, whatever it is. Like, hate is it's kind of old news. At
Yeah.
some point people got to grow out of that and realize that we're all unique in our own very way, and we should be accepted for being that way. So uh
Definitely. And I think whenever we feel like we've lost a friend,
Hmm.
but it was through them hurting you, they probably were never a friend and you just didn't realize it. And that's a good
That's a
thing
good
because
point.
you haven't lost a friend, you've just kind of realized that you never had one in that person. And it's great to kind of know where you stand. I think that's really important.
Yeah, for sure. So, who's some of your musical influences? Who would you say that you mirror, kind of, or at least take in bits and pieces of that that you see out in the industry right now? That you would say, I love that person. I love that person. I like that person. I think I've taken a little bit from each of these people.
Yes, so I definitely have a lot of musical influences. I just really admire how incredible and how different so many of these artists are in the industry, and
Hmm.
they they fight for what they believe in, and they write songs about their experiences
Yeah.
and the way they see the world, and I think that is so special. And some of the
Hmm.
artists that I have loved for years and still love just as much to this day are people like Carrie Underwood. She is definitely a huge inspiration to me.
Hmm.
Growing up, I adored Taylor Swift. I've never been to a Taylor Swift concert, and I know she's touring right now. So
Hmm.
that would be really cool to change that one day.
Yeah.
I loved her music growing up, and it was the soundtrack to my life when I was
Yeah.
really young. And honestly, she still is to this day. She is so iconic, um, as well as people who paved the way long before um, people like Taylor Swift were
Hmm.
as big as they are today. So I love artists like Dolly Parton, Shania Twain too. But the artists that I kind of have on my playlists and listen to daily, every day, just to inspire me, are
Hmm.
artists like Carrie Underwood, Taylor
Yeah.
Swift, Kelsey Ballerini,
Hmm.
Maren Morris, and I mean
Yeah.
I love Ed Sheeran too. I know he is a different vibe altogether, but I think he is so insanely talented, and they all just have left their own mark on the industry, which I think is really cool because a lot of the time, I think people try to follow trends and we all fall victim to it. We kind of want to do what is trending right now and what is seen
Yeah.
as cool, but it's cool that these artists paved the way um, for independent artists like me to be ourselves and not have to be like them or somebody else that we see and admire. It's cool to have these inspirations, but to also follow your own dream, your own path,
Hmm.
and kind of pave your own way.
Absolutely. And I was thinking that as I was listening to Seasons Change. I was listening to that song on the way back from, I actually did this morning. I was a little busy this morning. I had one of my friends has multiple sclerosis, and today was the MS walk for that cause. And so I actually did that. That's why I have the big orange on,
Incredible.
representing. Shout out to my friend Lisa. They're probably still there walking as we speak, but I came from there, and I was just thinking about, as I was driving and listening to the song. I was like, I definitely hear a little Taylor Swift in there, little Taylor in there. Yeah, I definitely love your flavor. So let's talk about the song. Let's talk about the song "Seasons Change." What's the storyline behind this song? Do you write this? Did you write it yourself?
Yes, I wrote this one
Nice.
solo. And I write most of my songs solo at the moment. I
Mhm.
think because Nashville is so community based, that'll probably change when I move. Because when I
Mhm.
do visit and tour, I actually co-write with people quite a lot whilst I'm there. So
Yeah.
I think that'll be a big part of my life when I make the permanent move in July. But right
Mhm.
now, most of my songs are solo writes. And Seasons Change is a song on an upcoming EP of mine that will be released this summer, also by the name of Seasons Change. And
Nice.
I think I really did want to share that story that things don't stay the same, seasons do change, and we think that's beautiful. So when it happens in our lives, we should kind of have the same outlook, even when it's hard. People that you think are going to be in your life forever come and go. And, sometimes they come back and other times they don't. And whatever happens, it's meant to be. So I think I often fall victim to maybe feeling stressed out about a situation or about about current affairs.
Hmm.
And a lot of the time, there isn't anything we can do to change how someone else feels or to change someone else's reaction or actions.
Yeah.
And kind of focusing on ourselves and how we choose to react is really important and can go a long way when it comes to feeling negative or feeling positive. So I think it's good to feel heartbreak in the moment, but then to kind of let it go and for it to become something beautiful and not stay as something painful and a memory that we don't want to look back on. Because Seasons Change was a song about my best friend and probably the only person who has been in my life that I would consider a best friend, because we
Hmm.
knew everything about each other, all each other's secrets. We shared those, and we felt that they were safe with each other. Um, and maybe 12 years into our friendship, and at this point, I felt like we were sisters.
Yeah.
Things kind of came crashing down in the most unexpected way because I did not see it coming, and I don't know if that maybe makes me naive because I probably ignored a lot of the warning signs just because I loved her so much and I didn't want to let her go.
Yeah.
Um, but when I lost her, it was probably one of the most painful things that I'd ever experienced, despite the fact that I'd had fractured ribs in school and
Hmm.
I'd been bullied. And this was definitely more painful than any of those things because she was there throughout it all.
Right.
I'm not going to say that she was there physically,
Hmm.
but she was just a shoulder to cry on and a person to share those experiences with, and a
Hmm.
person who knew about it. Even if I didn't say it in so many words, she knew what was going on. And to me, she just felt like a safety blanket. And when I lost that, I didn't think I was ever going to recover, which
Mm.
sounds probably really dramatic because I was 16 when it happened. And I guess when you're 16, a lot of things happen that feel like the whole world is ending. But
Mm.
it truly did feel like that. And it took a while for me to find my footing and grow into the person that I am today without her by my side. But
Mm.
I think we have to go through these things to realize how strong we are.
Yeah.
And these things make us who we are today. And I wanted to share that in a song. And hopefully, people who have felt just as alone as I did back then can find solace in the song.
Absolutely. Um, Usually, what I would do right now is, be like, well, is it possible we could get a little bit of the song? Could you give us a little, like, minute of the songs for those that may not have heard it?
So I can play the recorded version for you, like a little bit of it. And if
Yeah.
I had brought my guitar up with me, I could have played it acoustically. But
Yeah.
I'm not plugged in and set up for that. And my guitar is actually in the house and I'm in the studio. Um,
Absolutely.
but I could play maybe the first minute of the track. Is
Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll take that. So, really quick, guys, this is Miss Caitlin Mae from the UK. Which part of UK are you in, by the way?
I am in South Wales.
South Wales, UK. She is live, yo. She's going to play her new single off her upcoming album called Seasons Change. This song is called Seasons Change. She's got a little sample. You have to go and check out the rest of it. Go to Caitlin Mae Music, right? .com.
Yeah. So
Bam! Look at that.
it's Caitlin May Music across all social media and caitlinmay.com for my website.
All right, perfect, perfect. So this just a little sample for you guys. So make sure you guys tune in and then go and check out the music. Check it out. I got it downloaded in my car right now.
Yes. Okay, I'll play it. Let me know if I play it through hold it to the mic. Let me know if it sounds okay or if I
All
need
right,
to.
for sure.
8 years old with the world in our hands. 10 years. Oh, sorry, it's starting again. 8 years old with the world in our hands. 10 years later, and I've changed all my plans. You lit a fire in me with just one spark. Burns the same as before you broke my heart. Funny how seasons change. Thought I'd have a boyfriend and a dog with a clever name. Funny how I'm to blame when all I did was play by every rule in your stupid game. We were gonna live together, then be neighbors with secret tunnels. We had it all mapped out. Ain't so funny now.
Cute, very cute. Very good. I like that song.
Thank you so
So
much.
do you have a boyfriend and a dog now?
Oh no. So that is probably the one part of the song that is I won't say fully fabricated, because I think when we are children and we're growing up and we're
Yeah,
watching Disney movies with
right.
princes and princesses and happy ever afters,
Yeah,
we probably do think that when we reach adulthood that we're going to be married and living in a castle or a palace and
right.
have um, animals that understand us and talk to us and sweep our floors for us. Um, and then I think as you get older, your priorities shift. Maybe not always, and I know that everybody's dream is different, but for me, I have never really been interested in dating, and I
It's
definitely
good.
do see a family in my future, but it's far off in the future,
Mhm.
um, somewhere um, over the horizon. So it's far away.
I thought you was gonna say over the rainbow, actually.
Over the rainbow, yes. Um, just I think when it comes to love, sometimes the younger we are and the more we jump into things with our eyes closed, kind of, the more things can crumble. And I would
Yeah,
definitely like to build a solid foundation with somebody one day, just not
absolutely.
right now. And my music fills me with joy and I feel complete right now. So I think searching for something that I don't really need is maybe asking for trouble and maybe heartbreak that I don't need right now. But
More
maybe when I'm
seasons
30,
changing. That's
when I
exactly.
when I'm 30, I'm going to look back at today and I will have the guy of my dreams and a dog with a clever name, and I will realize that it's all come full circle.
Absolutely, absolutely. Take your time, enjoy your life, make beautiful music. I mean, your music is amazing. It's definitely, it's definitely hitting all facets of the world. Obviously, it's out happening in UK and you got a following here in the US as well. How
Thank you.
has it been when it comes to your fans here in the US? How much love you've gotten from people that aren't even around where you're at? How has the love been coming through in from the US?
So much. I cannot fathom how incredible people are and that people want to be on this journey with me. And sometimes I don't even think I can put into words how much they truly mean to me, because I wouldn't want to be doing what I'm doing right now and on this journey without them. And I can't imagine it any other way. Now that I've got to know them, I wouldn't want them not to be in my life.
Yeah.
And even when I'm not in the US, they support me and they join live streams and they join
Mhm.
interviews and radio interviews and airplay. And and it means the world to me. And then when I actually travel to the US, they drive from whatever state they're in and they come and
Yeah.
visit me, whether I'm in Nashville playing shows or Pigeon Forge, still in Tennessee. Um, or I've visited Atlanta and people came and saw me there, Indiana too, and they're
Hmm.
just always there. They're never far behind, and it it just feels like we are a family. And anytime we're in a room together, that is how close it feels. It just feels like we were always meant to be in each other's lives.
That's
And
awesome.
sometimes
Mhm.
they drive like 9, 10, 11 hours just to
Yeah.
come to some shows and stay for a few days. And that is crazy to me, probably because we don't need to drive that far ever here in the UK.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
fact that they say it's no big deal, it just warms my heart every single time.
Yep.
And a lot of the time, they don't even just do it once, they do it 3, 4 times whilst I'm in the US. And I'm excited to be there permanently in July because at least it won't have to be such a scrabble for people to make it happen within those 3 weeks that I'm there,
Hmm.
and it'll be able to be spaced out, and it'll be something that is possible every day of the week. And I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
nice to not only chase a dream yourself, but to share it with so many people from all across the world.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing that I want you to understand too, as a person that has been through the music scene for a long while, and have seen fans come from, all over the place. You have to have a certain something for someone to say, I'm going to drive 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours to come and see you perform for 2 hours, hour and a half, however long it may be.
Yeah.
You should definitely feel blessed. Enjoy this time because there's not a lot of people that are doing it as as in my opinion. Like, I think there's still a lot of people working hard at trying to perfect their craft and gain a following. But when you're talking about someone that is in South Wales that can come to the States and have people driving from hours and hours away to see you perform, that means you have something powerful and real and true and effective,
Thank you so
that
much.
is touching people all across the world. Enjoy it, savor the moments. Make sure you love those people because obviously they truly love what you're doing and what you're all about. And like, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for it to continue once you get to Nashville and
Thank you.
start gigging over there. You never know. I may even show up because I love traveling. I ain't gonna
That
lie.
would be so cool, honestly. I mean,
Absolutely.
I really do love every single one of my dreamers, and
Yeah.
for all the people that I was heartbroken to lose over the years, just one of my dreamers makes up for every broken heart that I've ever gone through, and I truly do hope they know that because I wake up and the first thing I think about is them, and when I go to sleep, the last thing I think about is them, and I don't think that'll ever change. They truly did change my life, and
Hmm.
it was during one of the most difficult times for us as people on planet Earth, because when lockdown happened and we all had to adapt to this new way of life and all these restrictions, they
Hmm.
were there. And that was when I found them. I truly found my community. And we have grown as an army of dreamers ever since. Every
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
there's more of us. And that is so beautiful to me. And I know it does sound really probably quite cringy and cheesy, but
Yeah.
they mean more to
Yeah.
me than they could possibly ever know, and I'm beyond grateful to them.
I absolutely hear you when you say cheesy and corny, but truthful. And that's the thing. I mean, you can definitely see the realness and the truth with everything that you're sharing right now. I believe everything you said. I mean, there are some people that can paint a picture really well, but then be somebody totally different when they get off of, you know, off of the camera. You don't seem like the type. So
Thank you
um,
so much.
absolutely keep doing what you're doing. So this question, this will be my last question for you. And then if you have anything that you want to ask me, you can ask me. If you anybody out there that is watching want to ask her any questions before we get off, please make sure you guys drop them in the comments right now. This is my last question. When you are done with music, what do you want people to remember about Caitlin May?
I think that is such a hard question because I think we definitely all want to be remembered, but there are so many great things to be remembered for. And I think the most important thing to me is that people know my heart and know that I just really want to share love. And I know that we haven't all had that experience where we have felt loved. Um, and even if we do now, maybe we haven't always. So we all go through difficult times and
Yeah,
dark periods. And music has been my way out and kind of the thing that has kept my head above water all these years.
yeah,
And I truly hope that my music can do that for people. And even if it doesn't, because I know we all have different tastes in music,
mhm,
I still want you to be a dreamer. I still want us to be a family because
yeah,
I think it's the people that we are inside that means more than anything. It means more than the music and it means more than the platform we have. If you can inspire or change one person's life for the better, it is so, so important and you should do it. And
yeah,
it it doesn't matter whether you're changing the masses. It doesn't matter whether you're impacting hundreds of thousands of people's lives. It's just as important to impact one person's life.
mhm,
And even on my bad days, I don't want people to remember me for those days. I want to still be kind and inclusive. I just think it's really important, and it's nice that when you're having a bad day, somebody can change your mood and
yeah,
create a good experience from that. And I want to do that for people. So hopefully that's what people will remember about me
mhm,
one day far in the future when all that's left is records and albums and songs on Spotify. I still
yeah.
hope that people will remember me for my heart.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that was my last question, but I lied. I have another one. I probably should have said this one first, but I think that one to me is always a really important one. I really always want to know what people are thinking once it's all said and done. What do you want people to remember you by? you know. So we're talking to the kids. Um, whether they're in middle school, high school, even elementary school. Um, and we're talking to kids that are being bullied. What is something that you want to tell these young kids that are going through it right now? What is something that you would say to them?
I think that even though it's true that everything happens for a reason, it's very difficult to see that in in the at the time that you're going through whatever you're going through, whether that's being bullied or just feeling like you don't belong. So rather than saying that, which I know everybody leads with, and so many people told me when I was going through it,
Mhm.
I think it's just important to remember that you are strong. So nobody can take away from the fact that you are going through hell and this is a very difficult time for you, but you
Mhm.
are strong enough to do it. And you're strong enough to do it alone, but you don't have to. There
Right.
are people out there, even if you feel like maybe your parents aren't a great support system or your teachers, there is always somebody. So please reach out to someone. And if you reach out to someone and it doesn't work the first time, then reach out to someone else. Just
Yeah.
don't give up. Know that you have the strength inside you, and one day you will look back everything that you went through up until this moment in time, and you will realize that somewhere along the way, the smile that you had plastered on your face isn't fake anymore, it's real.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do have to fake it till you make it, but it will
Yeah.
be so worth it in the end. And you should be proud of yourself now. You should be proud of yourself tomorrow, and you should be proud of yourself forever.
Absolutely. Good answer. Great answer. Absolutely. So we have a question real quick from Margaret. Hey, Margaret, thank you so much for being here. She said, where would you like to see yourself in 10 years?
So I think it's really important to have dreams as big as you could possibly dream them.
Mhm.
And in 10 years, I would love to see myself headlining a stadium world tour. That
Mm.
is one of my biggest dreams. I would love to be selling music worldwide to millions of people, and sharing, I think my story is important because we all have a story to tell, and each of our stories are just as important as the next. And I would love to not only share the positive things that have happened and my happiest of experiences, but also my lowest of lows, because those are the times that people need to hear about to understand that there is a way out, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I would love to just be able to advocate for bullying
Yeah.
charities and causes, but on a bigger scale than what I can do right now. And we're already at um, across all social media, maybe 50 or 60,000 dreamers worldwide. But I
Nice.
would love for that to be 60 million, 100 million, and for us to kind of be able to leave our houses and know that the first person that we bump into is a dreamer as well. So we are never truly alone. We always
Yeah.
have each other's backs, and no matter what happens, we will be there for each other as a community, whether that's through music or just through our hearts and our souls.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. Well said. So I have, went over my hour. We did exactly what we came to do. Thank you so much for all the amazing information about who you are as a person. I absolutely love um, who you are.
Thank you.
DNA.
Thank you
Everything
so
you love your music. I love your charisma, your style. I think you have an amazing and bright future. Shout out to all the dreamers. I am officially on the dreamer bandwagon. Let's go. And I love the 10-year of being an advocate for bullying. I'm definitely I love that. I love that. I'm very passionate about it myself, especially dealing with, children that have been bullied. I can't stand it.
No.
It's not fun to even hear that, someone who is as innocent as, you were at the time, was bullied just cause,
Yeah.
for no logical reason, just cause. That's an amazing goal, and I know for sure you're gonna get there.
Thank you
Just
so
just
much.
keep your head up, keep spreading the good vibes. That's what it's all about: spreading those good vibes and being real about who you are as a person. And I guarantee you, we'll see you in bright lights somewhere. And I will show up and be like, "Yo, remember me? I can't." I was wearing the orange sweater.
Seriously, thank you
you
so much.
know.
It means the world to me, and I've had a blast today on the show, and I definitely hope to see you really soon in person. That would be another dream.
No, absolutely. It's all good. Do you have any questions for me? I mean, I know, like, I always ask everybody that because,
Um,
that's just how I do things. Everybody,
I don't think so, although I will probably think of questions that I didn't think of right now on the
it's
spot.
all good. No
Um,
worries.
but I really have had the best time talking to you, and if
Appreciate it.
anybody tuning in right now or watching it back after the show, um, you can find me on social media at Caitlin Mae Music,
Yeah.
and I have a tour schedule, a UK tour schedule that is going to be going up with finalized dates for from now until the summer when I move, going
Yeah.
up on all social media platforms really soon. I just need to finalize a couple more dates and times. So please check that out. And I have another single coming out in June. So I will be sharing the finalized date of that soon too. So please do keep an eye
Absolutely.
out.
Absolutely. I just posted a link for everybody. So if you guys did not get that link, CaitlinMaeMusic.com. Check it out. Go and trust me, I've been listening to it. It's on rotate. I could show you, but my phone is, you know. But
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. It's been an amazing interview. If you ever want to go back and play, I would love to hear you jam, with the guitar and sing a song. I've seen you live. That's how I found you. It was somebody was like, yo, check that. Somebody tagged me and I was like, okay, well, let me go see what's going on. And I
That's
love hearing fresh talent. I really do. I put together these events every year. It's called One Love All Around the World, and basically what it
wow.
is a bunch of people from all over the world get together and perform and raise awareness to peace, love, and unity, and just have a good time, just sharing the love.
That
I've
is
done it.
incredible.
Yeah, I've done it every year since 2018, and I'm excited for another one this year as well. Just
That
gotta pick a
that
date
is
and time.
amazing.
Yeah, just spreading the love. Like you said,
Yeah.
just continued spreading the love and not no hate. We're all about no hate.
Mhm.
Regardless of your race, color,
Yeah.
creed, sexual preference, we love each other for who we are as people, and that's how we live our lives. So absolutely.
That's so true.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and close up shop. Thank you so much again, Kate. You're
Thank you
amazing.
so much.
You are amazing. We're going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for viewing us today. If you guys did not follow us on YouTube, hit up the YouTube channel by following Circle Talk. Make sure you guys keep in line. Next week, we're going to be here with NDC Poetry, my good friend Nick Corman. This guy is a traveling poet. Literally, he lives in South Carolina and he travels around and gets paid to do stand-up poetry. I mean, what kind of job is that, right? That would be so cool to just go anywhere you want and get paid to just speak your words, share your knowledge, the things that are in your mind. I wish I could do it. I wish I
That
could
is
do it.
incredible.
But it's an amazing guy. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We're going to be sitting with him. We're going to talk about his journey since the last time I seen him and, what he has going on in the future. So tune in next week. So on behalf of Circle Talk, thank you guys for being here. Thank you again, Caitlin. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I
Thank
will
you
catch up
so
with
much.
you real soon. Y'all take
Thank
care.
you so much. Thank you for
You're
tuning
welcome.
in.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Through thick and thin, the ups and downs, you always been around.